Hey, y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Elizabeth Warren gets obliterated on CNBC. You'd think they'd be in her corner, but what she says is indefensible. Let's dive in.
This is a local election. New York does not operate in a vacuum. It competes with other cities. And so this idea of somehow raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers, who, by the way, I would point out, pay roughly 15% of their income right now between city and state, raising taxes on them will simply drive them away. Shouldn't the focus of a mayor be on delivering services to the constituents of the city and doing that by raising the most revenue as possible without chasing businesses and the high-income taxpayers out of the city? Because they can go to Austin, they can go to Dallas, they can go to Atlanta, they can go to Nashville. This is your issue. It's a national issue, not a local issue.
The issue is affordability. Do you know how many working families are chased out of New York City every day because they can't afford housing, they can't afford groceries, they can't afford child care? What Zoran is saying is, I want people to be able to afford to live in New York City. That's what keeps it a vibrant city. That's what makes people want to live
Nobody
here.
disagrees with that, Senator, but raising taxes in order to do it? Why is that the answer?
Oh, dear. Are you worried that billionaires are going to go hungry?
No, I'm worried that they're going to leave and spend their money elsewhere.
You know, they've threatened to do that over and over and over.
And they have. They've left.
But here's the thing.
And Goldman Sachs, when they create new jobs, they do it in Dallas. And Blackstone won't build a new headquarters. They go on and on.
You want to have a workable city? You want to have a city that's vibrant? You want to have a city where the streets are full, where there are things for sale 24 hours a day? Then you need people who can live here and work here.
Well, we've got that right now, by the way. I would point out New York is thriving. So now it's doing pretty well, actually.
I'm glad you think they're doing well, because a lot of people are struggling to pay for housing. A lot of people are struggling to pay for groceries. And I got to tell you, mamas and daddies who are facing $25,000 a year to pay for child care.
Those are national issues. I mean, I know they are the local state, but you can't.
New York City.
Yes, but if you deal with them in that way, by what is always your backup, just tax them more, they will leave.
No, the backup is make this city and make this country work for everyone. I get that the Republican point of view is make this country and make every city in this country work better and better for a handful of billionaires and let everybody else eat dirt. But what Mamdani won on in a Democratic primary is he said, I'm going to address affordability. And he didn't win by one vote.
No, he won by a lot. It's very much unclear he has the ability to actually do it, by the way, based on the laws and what the governor has to say and what he would actually have to do.
You know, I love that as the fallback position, and that is he's fighting for the right thing, but maybe the billionaires will have a way to
everybody
block
wants
him.
a more affordable city. There's no doubt about that. The question is how you go.
I actually do have a doubt about that. The
build more housing.
Sure don't want to pay their part on this.
You build more housing. You do try to make it more affordable, but it is a very difficult thing to do. You know that around the country. This is not an issue that just here in New York. It's everywhere.
But it's not an issue that Eric Adams was fighting for. It's certainly not an issue that Andrew
I think the mayor would say they have been trying to focus on building as many new.
Mamdani is the one who said, I will make this a priority. And you know what he said? He said, I'm really going to lean in on child care. I'm really going to lean in on housing. And I'm even going to try some new things to bring down the cost of groceries.
So it doesn't concern you that
I'm not going to sit around and pretend, it's a federal problem. Let the federal government fix
you can
this.
say all these things, but again, I think many people would disagree to the extent that by raising taxes and making it more onerous for business, that create the jobs, that create the revenues on which tax revenues come from, that you'd ultimately be dealing with a smaller pie. He may succeed by driving everybody out. Rents will go down.
That the best way to run city government or national government is to start with the billionaires and say what will work best for you. Vote Republican.
I don't think anybody in New York is talking about doing that.
If you don't, then let's make the city more affordable. Let's make the country more affordable. And the way we do that, let's focus on housing. Let's focus on groceries. Let's focus on child care. Donald Trump
These are your
ran.
issues.
Donald,
These are national
Donald
issues.
Trump
You deal with
ran
that.
For and New York should just say, all we want is the
mayor of New
billionaires
York
pay
should
whatever
focus on
you want to
delivering
pay.
the most services to the citizens of the
He should
city and
focus.
make it a point of
I'm
improving
sorry,
life for them.
your fellow New Yorkers have said he should focus on affordability. This is why they have voted for Mamdani, and that's why today I will be here to talk about his plans on childcare, why people are talking about his plans. He's going to experiment to try to bring down grocery costs in food deserts. God bless him on that. He's going to try something. When was the last time you saw America? I'm going to try something.
You think
for
somebody who
families,
has absolutely no experience,
down.
33-year-old socialist, is going to succeed as the mayor of New York?
Yes,
with
I do.
No real experience whatsoever in city
I think he's going to do a
government?
lot more for working families.
What an inane amount of babble that just came out of Elizabeth Warren's mouth. I can't believe she actually is going in this direction. So, folks, I'm going to go on a small tangent, and then I'm going to bring it back in. The millennials have arrived. The millennials are here, and I'm going to be honest. The majority of millennial brains are completely and totally broken. And they were broken because, basically, you put us in front of a VCR and a DVD set and told us to go to town while y'all got stuff done. And I've had to sort of rework my brain to some degree. And the education system certainly hasn't helped. But millennials have gotten guys like Mamdani elected. Mamdani is about to be a year older than I am. I'm about to turn 32. And this dude, he might have actually even violated his oath that he took in order to become a U.S. citizen. So there's potential grounds to deport this dude. It shouldn't happen, but again, weirder things have happened. But that last line that Elizabeth Warren gave here. Oh, sorry, I need to continue on this tangent. Millennials love what Mamdani is doing. They love it. And we have no clue what actually it does or how it helps anyone. Because the short answer is it doesn't. Hey, y'all. Experts say they rig the markets, print the money, and manipulate the system. But here's the truth. They can't print gold. While the dollar weakens, physical gold and silver stay real, tangible, uncontrolled. When banks go digital and emergencies lock you out of your own funds, gold and silver won't need an internet connection or government permission. Their value is outside the system, a time-tested insurance policy against tyranny, inflation, and economic resets. So don't wait until the trap is sprung. Own what the elites hoard behind closed doors. Physical gold and silver off the grid, because when the system fails, real money talks. And to help you learn more about owning physical gold and silver, we have partnered with the great company Goldco, which supports this channel, which we deeply appreciate. So check out politbralgold.com for more info and see if you might even qualify for free silver. That's politbralgold.com. As a matter of fact, the whole idea of a public grocery store fails every single time. All right, the most recent one that I know of occurred over in Illinois. Illinois' record is similarly disappointing. In 2018, Illinois officials highlighted the opening of 6 grocery stores that have received startup funds over several years from a $13.5 million grocery initiative of former Governor Pat Quinn's. 4 of them have closed. They don't work. The concept is stupid. It is the fundamental problem of communistic style policies. They do not understand supply and demand. They do not understand how to manage land. The whole point of Karl Marx was a criticism of industrialization and the horrors that can come with it. It had no clue whatsoever. Neither Marx nor Engels understood how food works. And that has presented a problem time and time and time again across all socialist countries. Venezuela, starving. Cuba can barely produce enough food for itself. The Soviet Union fell apart, in part due to different amounts of famines here and there. It wasn't the main reason by any stretch of the imagination, but remember, folks, when they got started, there was this little something called the Holodomor, where Ukrainians were starved by Joseph Stalin's direct orders. It is insane. And so millennials don't understand the consequences of these policies. All they see is a brief idea of mild injustice, and then the rest of the Democrats keep talking about billionaires? Why do we keep leaving blue states? Why do Californians flood into Arizona? Why do New Yorkers fly to Florida for the winter and end up staying there for the rest of their lives? Why do folks from Illinois run north to Wisconsin, which is becoming more conservative as we speak, and so is Michigan. As a matter of fact, the old blue wall, they're starting to see what happens when they go a little too woke, and all of a sudden they go, oh crap, this stuff doesn't work. But the kids haven't learned their lesson yet. The millennials love this nonsense. We were taught all this vague ideology about fairness, and I think it's better to tax the wealthy. We used to do that more back in the 50s. Remember how much boomers talk about the 50s? It's wild. This is the level of our brain power. It's awful, and it's getting worse. Rich white liberals and their children are becoming more and more problematic as they become the dominant force of the Democrat Party. And as Trump has picked up a large coalition, he's picked up the Make America Healthy Again movement, the MAHA movement. He's picked up the hippies that told us 20 years ago that, hey, war is bad, we screw up everything we touch. Hey, our food's poisoned, we need to regulate these industries better. Those old liberals turned out to be right, but the old liberals are not in charge of the Democrat Party. They're moving in a direction that they have never, ever dared to dream of. They are finally embracing the long march through the institutions and have gone full-blown Marxist. More of this is coming, ladies and gentlemen, and millennials will be spearheading it. Elizabeth Warren knows which way the wind is blowing, and you can tell she's not happy about it. She doesn't like this. She has been all over the spectrum throughout her life when it comes to the political compass. I think she was a conservative at one point. Funny, Democrat women and go wildly oscillating in their politics. Remember Hillary Clinton? She got her start as a Goldwater girl. Ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a problem. The young people are now a major voting bloc, and we're nuts. We're nuts. All right, I'm a little bit on the Weird Al Yankovic side here. All right, I'm a little crazy myself, but we were raised on VCRs. We were told that PBS was the greatest thing ever, and we got all of our information and all of our worldview from an education system that was captured back in the 90s, and we just haven't learned it yet. We are in for a wild ride because the Democrats are continuing to scream and careen further and further to the left. And Mandami is the tip of this iceberg. But folks, let me know what you think down in the comments below. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.